Lesson 69, 第69課. Let's look at our first pronoun. You've seen this pronoun before. It's watashi and can be formal and informal and can mean I or me. Watashi is probably the most common pronoun used for the pronoun I or me. When watashi is used in a formal context, both males and females use it. However, in an informal circumstance, watashi sounds more feminine. Let's look at another first-person pronoun. This pronoun is watakushi and is very formal and is used by both genders. This next pronoun is ore and is informal and used by males. Watakushi is a very formal way to say I or me. It can be used by both genders. Ore is an informal way of saying I or me and is often used by Japanese males. When ore is used with peers or those who are younger, it is a way of asserting masculinity and power. But when ore is used with family members, it is a way of showing familiarity and closeness. Okay, let's do an exercise. Which pronoun should be used when Takashi is talking to his friends? The best choice is most likely ore because it's informal, and since he is a male with his peers, this is probably the best choice. Now, what pronoun should Tomoko use when she is talking with her friends? The best choice is watashi because ore is overly masculine, and since Tomoko is a girl, that wouldn't suit her. Let's move on. This pronoun is ware and is very formal and used with both genders. This pronoun is oida and is informal and used by both genders. Ware is a way of saying I or me that is very formal and used with both genders. You'll often find this pronoun used in literary texts. Oida is a way of saying I or me that is informal and often used with both genders. This form of I gives off the sense that the person is from a rural place and perhaps not so sophisticated. Let's do an exercise. Ichiro is from the countryside and is talking to his classmates. Which pronoun should he use? The best pronoun from the choices given is oida. Now, Mr. Yamashita is writing a novel, so what pronoun should he use? Ware is a good choice because ware is often used in written communication. Let's look at another pronoun. This pronoun is boku and used by males and is informal. The next is atashi and is informal and is used by females. Boku, in addition to ore, is also an informal way of saying I or me and is used by Japanese males, especially when they are trying to be humble or show deference to others. Atashi is an informal way of saying I or me by young females. It is not used in written communication, but it is often used in verbal communication. Let's do some practice. Hanako is talking to her girlfriends outside of class, so which pronoun should she use? She should use atashi because this is a feminine pronoun. Next, a boy is talking to his classmates. Which pronoun should he use? He should use boku because this is a masculine pronoun. You've seen this pronoun before. It's anata and is used by both genders and is both informal and formal. The next second-person pronoun is anta and is informal and used by both genders. Anata is a way of saying you and is used by both genders. When used formally, it is used with strangers or with those with whom you have a formal relationship with. When used informally, it is often used by wives who call their husbands anata. Anta is an informal way of saying you and is used by both genders. It can be considered rude or hostile, so do not use this form of you with your elders. Let's do some practice. Which pronoun should be used when a wife is calling her husband? The best pronoun is anata. What about when a boy is calling a younger boy? The best pronoun among the choices is anta. because anata is used when a wife is calling her husband or among adult strangers. Let's look at another second-person pronoun. This pronoun is pronounced as omae and is very informal and used mostly by men. The next is temme and is very rude and mostly used by males. Omae is an informal way of saying you that is mostly used by males to refer to their female girlfriends or wives. The use of omae shows the speaker's higher status and age. It should never be used with one's elders. Teme is a rude and confrontational way of saying you. It is mostly used by males and often used when the speaker is angry. Let's look at another pronoun. This pronoun is pronounced as kisama and is rude and used mostly by males. Let's look at another pronoun. This pronoun is pronounced as kimi and used informally and by both genders. Kisama is extremely hostile and confrontational. It is mostly used by males and often used when the speaker is angry. Kimi is informal and used by both genders. It is often used with subordinates and those who are younger than you. It can also be affectionate, but it should not be used with elders or superiors. Let's do an exercise. For each number, select the pronoun that is the rudest out of all the pronouns for that number. For example, for number 1, the rudest pronoun is teme. What about number 2? The rudest pronoun is kisama. And for number 3, what is the rudest pronoun? It's anta. So make sure you don't use these pronouns for a polite conversation. Let's do another exercise. Select the pronoun that is mostly used by males. So for number 1, omae is mostly used by males. For number 2, boku is a pronoun used by males. Try number 3. The answer is ore. Let's look at a possessive pronoun. This will be pronounced as waga and will be very formal and used by both genders. This next pronoun is otaku and is used by both genders. Waga is a very formal way of saying my or our, especially in relation to organizations like companies, schools, or even countries. Both genders may use it. It is often used in speeches and in ritual ceremonies. Otaku is a formal way of saying your. It literally means your house. It is used when you have a distant relationship with someone and want to keep a polite distance from someone. That's all the time we have for today. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.